Hey everybody, here's a quick update on the railroad for this week. I got the fascia mounted here in the staging area, so that cleaned that up. I got the electrical control panel where the switches control the power to each staging track. I got that done this week. And I designed and 3D printed these little card holders to hold the train manifests. And I put some in other places around the layout where you might be switching cars, picking up cars, setting out cars, so that while you're trying to uncouple or couple up cars and run your controller, you don't have to juggle your card too. You can just slip it in there and have it sit there while you do your work. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with those. I thought they came out nice, and I think it looks a lot nicer than hanging the manifests on hooks under the bench work. So I'm happy with those. Had a minor setback this week. I've shown you before the electric or automated turnout control for this turnout that's up here under the bridge because it was a little bit hard to reach. And I was doing some work on it this last week. There was a piano wire. It uses a piano wire that goes from here down through the bench work to the switch machine, and when the switch machine would move the piano wire, it would throw the turnout. And there was extra piano wire on the end of it, so I snipped it off, and once I snipped the extra off, it wouldn't work anymore. And after 2.5 hours of frustration, including destroying the switch and having to tear it up and replace it, I decided to bag it, and it's back to a manual throw. Maybe I'll mess with it again at some point later down the road, but right now it's a manual throw. It'll be reliable, and that's what I want. I've started casting up some rock faces. I bought some rock face molds from Woodland Scenics and used a lightweight plaster called Hydrocal to cast in those molds. These aren't glued in place or anything yet. They're just kind of sitting there trying to figure out where they might work. I've got quite a few different molds, and I've cast up different little rock faces and stuff like that. And then I started working on mountains here. I'm using a new technique for me where you cut these profile boards like this and then lace in between them with strips of cardboard, and then use plaster cloth like they would use if you broke your arm and they made a cast for you. Use plaster cloth over the cardboard and then paint plaster of Paris over that plaster cloth once that hardens. And that's what I did here. And it worked out all right. It was kind of hard to hide the strips. You could see the edges of the strips of cardboard. But I think I got it. I'm going to have to do that in the rest of some of this. I really like the method that I used. I'll show you in a minute on the other side of the layout, where you just roll up newspaper and then tape it down in place and put the plaster cloth over that. But it would take a lot of newspaper to roll up in all there. So I'm going to have to do the cardboard strip method. And then I got this tunnel done. I cut a new piece of fascia here so that I could get it to kind of fit the outline of what I wanted, the profile. Cut this access hole so that if a train derails or I need to clean the track or anything, I can get to it because there's no other way to get to it. I'll probably cover this with a piece of fabric with Velcro or snaps or something. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but at least, something to make it dark and hide the fact that the train's in the tunnel. The tunnel portals are just sitting here. They're not glued in place or anything yet, but they're there. And this one down here. And you can see this is, well, you can't see, but I did this hill right here, the more traditional for me anyway method with the newspaper and the plaster cloth. And I think it looks better. It'll look great once I get, paint it and get ground cover and green stuff and trees and whatever else on it. Did the same thing along here. Got all of this done to right there. There you can see the newspaper and stuff. I need to continue on down there, but I got that done. And then I painted the track. I may have mentioned that last week. I don't remember. Painting the track just kind of disguises the plastic look of the ties. Kind of takes that away. Disguises the fact that the rail is probably a little too high or too tall for scale. And makes it look a little more old and used instead of brand new shiny nickel silver track, which would not look realistic at all. So you just spray it with an airbrush, and then when it's dry, you come along with a piece of masonite, and it takes the paint right off the head of the rail, so you get electrical conductivity, and you can still run your trains. Anyway, I think that's it this week. I did shoot a video of a passenger train with a couple of new locomotives I got with birthday money. Running all the way around the layout. I'll post a link to that if you want to watch it It's kind of cool. They're nice locomotives. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. Catch you next time.